The promise had been spoken, and time began to move toward its fulfillment. But before the son of laughter would be born, heaven itself would walk the earth. Genesis chapter 18. And the Lord appeared unto Abraham in the plains of Mamre, as he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. He lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, 3 men stood by him. When he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do, as thou hast said. Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal. Knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. He ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it. He took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. He stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also. And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. The men rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? And the Lord said, Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now, and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it. And if not, I will know. The men turned their faces toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near, and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy, and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 45, I will not destroy it. He spake again, Peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Behold now, I've taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. The Lord went his way, as soon as he had left communing with Abraham. And Abraham returned unto his place. Genesis chapter 19. There came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he rose up to meet them, and bowed himself with his face toward the ground. He said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you. Into your servant's house tarry all night, wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. They pressed upon him greatly, and they entered into his house. He made them a feast, and baked unleavened bread, and they did eat. Before they lay down, the men of the city, both old and young, compassed the house round, all the people from every quarter. They called unto Lot, and said, Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us. Lot went out at the door, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. But they pressed sore upon him, and came near to break the door. The men put forth their hand, pulled Lot into the house, and shut the door. They smote the men that were at the door with blindness, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. The angel said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides? Son-in-law, thy sons, thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxen great before the face of the Lord. When the morning arose, the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife, and thy 2 daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. While he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him, and they brought him forth, and set him outside the city. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from heaven. He overthrew those cities, all the plain, all the inhabitants, and that which grew upon the ground. But Lot's wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain. And behold, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. Heaven had walked among men, and men had not recognized it. One tent had welcomed the light, another city had turned away, and though judgment fell upon the plain, mercy still lingered on the mountain. Because where there is faith, there is always a remnant of grace. The story does not end here. Every chapter of Scripture is a whisper that leads to the next. Do not let the silence fade. In the next video, the journey continues, and the voice of God will speak again. The word was never meant to be read once, but to be felt, lived, and remembered. Biblical knowledge is not just history. It is nourishment for the soul, light for the spirit, and peace for the restless heart. If this story touched something within you, walk with us through the next chapter and listen once more. When God spoke, I'll be waiting for you in the next video.